The Aztec Empire, a name that echoes through the corridors of time. It speaks of a powerful civilization, rising from humble beginnings to dominate ancient Mesoamerica. Imagine a vast empire stretching across mountains and valleys, its heart pulsing with the rhythm of a vibrant culture. This was the world of the Aztecs, a complex tapestry woven from conquest, religion, and remarkable ingenuity. The Aztecs, or Mexica as they called themselves, emerged as a force to be reckoned with in the 14th century. From a small tribe they built a mighty empire centered on the island city of Tenochtitlan. This metropolis, built on a lake with canals for streets, was a testament to their architectural prowess and became a center of trade, religion, and culture. For 2 centuries the Aztec Empire flourished. Their influence stretched far and wide, their emperors revered as living gods. But their reign, like all empires, was not destined to last. From across the sea, a new threat emerged, bringing with it the seeds of destruction. The arrival of the Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century marked a turning point in Aztec history. The clash between these two worlds, each with its own beliefs and ambitions, would have devastating consequences for the Aztecs and change the course of history forever. The story of the Aztecs is a tale of migration and destiny, a journey that would shape the course of history in the Americas. They were not native to the Valley of Mexico, the fertile basin where they would ultimately establish their empire. Instead, they came from distant lands, driven by a vision and a prophecy that foretold their rise to greatness. Their origins lay further north, in a mythical land called Aztlan, the place of herons. This land, shrouded in mystery and legend, was said to be a paradise, a place of abundance and beauty. Driven by prophecy and the search for a new home, they embarked on a long and arduous journey south. This migration was not just a physical journey, but a spiritual quest, guided by the divine will of their gods. Legend has it that their patron god, Huitzilopochtli, the hummingbird god of war, guided them. He was a fierce and powerful deity, embodying the spirit of the Aztec people. He spoke to them through their priests, urging them onward until they found the sign he had promised: an eagle perched on a cactus, devouring a serpent. This symbol was more than just a sign, it was a divine mandate, a promise of a new beginning. This symbol, a powerful image of courage and divine providence, was found on a small island in the middle of Lake Texcoco. The island, though unassuming, was destined to become the heart of a mighty empire. On this unassuming island, in 1325 AD, the Aztecs founded Tenochtitlan. This city would grow to become one of the most magnificent urban centers of the ancient world. It was a challenging environment, surrounded by water and prone to flooding. The Aztecs, however, were undeterred by these natural obstacles. But the Aztecs were a resourceful people. They turned challenges into opportunities, using their ingenuity to transform their environment. They dredged mud from the lakebed to create chinampas, floating gardens that provided fertile land for agriculture. These chinampas were a marvel of engineering, allowing the Aztecs to sustain a large population. They built causeways to connect their island city to the mainland, transforming Tenochtitlan into a bustling hub of commerce and culture. These causeways were not just practical, they were symbols of the Aztecs' determination and vision. The layout of Tenochtitlan was nothing short of extraordinary. The city was meticulously planned, with a network of canals and streets that facilitated movement and trade. The city was designed in concentric circles with the Great Temple, dedicated to Huitzilopochtli, and the rain god Tlaloc at its heart. This temple was the spiritual and ceremonial center of the Aztec world. This sacred precinct, with its towering pyramids and sacrificial altars, served as a powerful symbol of Aztec religious beliefs and their worldview. It was here that the Aztecs performed their most important rituals, seeking to appease their gods and ensure the prosperity of their people. To understand the Aztecs, one must delve into the heart of their beliefs, which were the very foundation of their civilization. Religion was not merely a matter of faith, it was deeply intertwined with every aspect of their lives, influencing their daily routines, social structures, and even their political systems. The Aztecs worshipped a pantheon of gods, each representing different forces of nature and human endeavors. These deities were central to their understanding of the world and their place within it. They believed that these gods influenced the world around them, from the rising of the sun to the success of their harvests. Every natural event was seen as a manifestation of divine will. At the apex of Aztec society stood the emperor, the great speaker, who was considered the representative of the gods on earth. His role was not just political but also deeply spiritual. He held absolute power, commanding both the religious and political spheres. His decisions were believed to be guided by the gods, making his authority unquestionable. Below him, a complex social hierarchy dictated the roles and responsibilities of every individual. This hierarchy was rigid, with each class having specific duties and privileges. Nobles held positions of power and privilege, often serving as priests, warriors, and administrators. Commoners, who made up the majority of the population, engaged in farming, crafts, and trade, providing the backbone of the Aztec economy. Education was highly valued, even for commoners, and the Aztecs developed a sophisticated system of writing using pictographs and ideograms. This system allowed them to record their history, religious practices, and daily life. One of the most controversial aspects of Aztec culture was the practice of human sacrifice. These rituals were performed to appease the gods and ensure the continued prosperity of their society. While the exact scale and reasons for these sacrifices are still debated by historians, there is no doubt that they were an integral part of their religious beliefs. The sacrifices were seen as necessary to maintain cosmic order and balance. The Aztecs believed that the gods required sustenance, and the most precious offering they could give was human life. This belief underscored the profound and often harsh realities of their spiritual worldview. Section 4. The lifeblood of the empire: agriculture, trade, and prosperity. The Aztec Empire was not built on military might alone. Its foundation lay in a thriving economy, fueled by agriculture, trade, and the ingenuity of its people. The chinampas, those ingenious floating gardens, allowed the Aztecs to overcome the limitations of their island environment and produce a surplus of crops. Maize, beans, squash, and chili peppers formed the staples of their diet, while cacao beans were highly prized and used as currency. The abundance of food supported a growing population and allowed for specialization in crafts and trade. Tenochtitlan, strategically located in the heart of Mesoamerica, became a major trading hub. Merchants, known as Pochteca, traveled far and wide exchanging goods and information. They brought back exotic feathers, jade, gold, and other precious materials that adorned the palaces of the elite and fueled the empire's wealth. The Aztecs had a complex system of trade and tribute. Conquered cities were required to pay taxes in the form of goods, raw materials, and even laborers. This system, while enriching the Aztec elite, also fostered resentment and rebellion among the subjugated populations, ultimately contributing to the empire's downfall. Section 5. The Eagle Warriors. Conquering a continent. This section delves into the fascinating and formidable world of the Aztec warriors, who played a crucial role in the expansion of their empire. The Aztecs were a warrior society, deeply ingrained with the values of bravery, strength, and honor. Their entire culture revolved around warfare and conquest. From a young age, boys were trained in the art of warfare, taught to be courageous and ruthless in battle. They learned various combat techniques including archery, hand-to-hand combat, and the use of traditional weapons. The most skilled and feared warriors joined elite military orders, like the Eagle Warriors and the Jaguar Warriors, easily recognizable by their distinctive feathered headdresses and jaguar pelts. These elite units were not only symbols of military prowess, but also held significant social and religious status. Driven by a combination of religious fervor, political ambition, and a thirst for wealth, the Aztecs embarked on a campaign of expansion that would see their empire grow to encompass much of Mesoamerica. Their conquests were fueled by the belief that they were chosen by the gods to rule over other peoples. Their military tactics were a blend of strategy and raw power. They meticulously planned their campaigns, using intelligence and reconnaissance to outmaneuver their enemies. They utilized a combination of archers, slingers, and infantry armed with obsidian-bladed swords known as macuahuitl. These weapons were incredibly sharp and could inflict devastating injuries on their opponents. The Aztecs were master builders, not just of cities but also of fortresses and causeways. Their architectural prowess allowed them to create impressive urban centers and defensive structures. They used their engineering skills to their advantage in battle, constructing fortifications and strategically important roads that allowed them to move troops and supplies efficiently. These infrastructures were crucial in maintaining control over their vast empire. While the Aztecs were undoubtedly fierce warriors, their success in battle was also due in part to their ability to forge alliances and exploit existing rivalries among their enemies. They were adept at using diplomacy to weaken their foes before engaging them in combat. They were masters of diplomacy, using a combination of threats and promises to sway other city-states to their cause. This diplomatic acumen allowed them to expand their influence without always resorting to warfare. However, their rule was often harsh, and the heavy burden of tribute they imposed on conquered peoples sowed the seeds of resentment. This resentment would eventually contribute to the downfall of the Aztec Empire, as subjugated peoples sought opportunities to rebel against their overlords.